Good evening there. Welcome to Knowing with Sam. My name is Sam. I'm just trying to address something. Some people were asking that, have I tried businesses? What challenges have I had? I just want you to know that in the last 20 years, I've tried more than 18 businesses. A lot ended in disaster. Few made traction, but majority didn't do well. And I want you to understand something. Life is about risk. A lot of your rich people that you look up to, that you admire, their hard work and all that, they failed. They had some failures, and it's a few wins you hear. Did you know that Dangote used to own a bank? And when I heard it too, I was surprised. He used to own a bank, I think Liberty Bank or something like that. And it didn't work out well for him. And guess what? The other Antonio Lumelu is doing very well in the banking industry. And there might be, if you look Tony further, you find out maybe he tried a big multi-industrial agriculture and it didn't do well as well. So you can't win all. Jeff Bezos that you read, I used to own something called pet.com or something. It didn't do well. He had to add something about books. Didn't fly. Mark Zuckerberg had a company before Facebook. It didn't fly. So I want you to understand that everyone goes through a failure, but the difference is that do you rise up when that happens? Or a little failure that you have, a little side business that you do investment. You said, I'll never try business again. I'll never try sort of investment. No. The reason why we'll find out, if I sit back and look at the businesses that I didn't do well, what made me, because there are people that are succeeding in it. Good mentorship, understanding that business. Don't just dive into it because people are doing it. Anyway, straight to it. My name is Sam. I'm going to list 5 businesses I have failed in a lot. I'm just going to list 5 that I didn't do well in. The first one is the oil and gas. I did oil and gas, like you all know, which was my worst, which made me almost go into depression, almost took my life, almost I ran mad, almost, yeah. I lost my sanity. I didn't know what I was doing with life anymore. I got into debt to the tune of 800 million naira. Though majority of what made that money rise to that was interest. Okay, about almost 49 to 50% of that money was from interest. It took me 10 years to reconcile that account and pay back. So yes, oil and gas was a disaster for me. The next one was FMCG. I did FMCG, what they call fast-moving consumer products. I came out because I'm someone that thinks, I say, people use Omo, people will use Milo, people will use milk, sugar, all that. These are things that people keep using, and maybe that's why Dangote keeps having money. I said, okay, I'm going to create my own FMCG product, fast-moving consumer product. So I got a chemist, I got a NAFDAC, and I started producing, especially when I did very well during the COVID time. I did excellently. Some of you can check my story. I did very well during the COVID. I got my NAFDAC fast and all that. So I said, okay, let me go into production of fast-moving consumer products. But there's a trick to it many people do not know. It's a highly competitive business and people are used to their products. Okay, do you know there are lots of products that are competing with Coca-Cola? They're answering one form of Coke or the other, but they are struggling. Some just stay after a while and they invest billions of money in it and they fade away. So as I was checking my store today, I saw some of the products. I just want to share. This is I ran into this was a spray starch with NAFDAC. This is a cold starch that is just quick to go, cold water. This was a fabric conditioner. I did that due to my line of business. This was a window cleaner. This was a window cleaner. This is a car scratch. We call it car scratch remover. I got this patent from China. If they hit your car, you just put it wipes it away. They did well for some time, but it was tough selling it. This is mildew. Like when you put your clothes in a wardrobe and you see those black things, and this removes mildew remover. So I think I don't have the rest here. I think we had at most 13 products. We invested millions into research, production, renting of building equipment and all that. It was a crazy time. Lost a lot of money, but I don't think I lost. I learned from it. Okay. And what I found out as well, that it's easier to market existing products. Because why did I go into this? My friend had a supermarket and I told him, look, I saw the numbers he was doing. Supermarkets sell a lot, but they make little profits. So I said, okay. He gave me an easy entry. So I supplied the supermarket. Before I was sending to Ikorodu, First Stack, Aba. I was sending to Ibadan. I was sending to Benin. But the problem was that they were doing what they call SOR with me. Imagine investing each batch. Maybe you spent like 18 million. And after 4 months, they've paid you from your SOR. You've gotten maybe 2.1 million. And you're still struggling. How do you run the circle? Meanwhile, my friend who discouraged me said, guy, just go and move Dano milk or go and move Milo or noodles. And he did it in front of me. He brought in about 5 million. He bought noodles and supplied supermarket. And he got his money in 2 weeks. and the money suddenly made profit. So it was a challenging period. So that I didn't do well. I packed it up, gave up the advice. The third business I didn't do well was Uber transportation, because I did transportation in university when I was in school. Towards my final year, my father was struggling to pay school fees. So I told him, you know what, I don't want to be a liability to you. Give me money, let's buy one bike, and I'll rely on myself. And from that one bike, I bought two. I had three. I think by the time I was graduating from university, from there I was surviving for my handout, and I didn't ask my father for money anymore until I graduated. So when I finished, I like transport, like you always say, like I put in my listing. But what I found out about transport is either you do what they call hire purchase, or you do it yourself. I don't know who has gotten the template. Though there's a kind of transport I'm trying to do now, renting or leasing of luxury buses to companies. I'll explain that Costa some other time. So I bought two Toyota Corollas at the same time, and one was driven by my cousin, which I'll never do business with relations, and one was driven by somebody I employed or something. Anyway, it was fine for a little while. After a while, it was a disaster. One story or the other. So I had to just give it out. I learned that it's hire purchase people do, whereby if you bought it for 5 million, you give it to them for 7.5 or thereabout, and when they finish paying, you take it and go. That's not business to me, but if that's what works in Nigeria. So that's the third. Another business I didn't do well was e-commerce. I did it for 2 years. Actually stopped it 2 years ago. And in case of you, many of you don't know, if you see anybody doing e-commerce in Nigeria, hail them. It's a challenging business. Core e-commerce, not selling hair. Because Nigeria, due to lack of trust from the buyers and lack of trust from the sellers, is pay on delivery, okay? Now, your goods get there. Imagine if I go to China, normally we go to China and import some of this product. I brought them in from China, and we run a Facebook ad, what they call it, a Facebook ad, whereby we spend between 80,000 and 120,000 every day, 365 days a year. Imagine that. And we'll run mass broadcast of ad, nationwide ad, and you're going to get about 500 orders. Yes, people will fill the form they want, and out of 500, maybe 200 will say, okay, bring that we want. And when you're sending it, imagine you're sending goods to Zamfara, you're sending to Abakaliki, you're sending to Ogbomosho, you're sending to Ebon in different places, and you get there, your dispatch gets there, the people are not there, they're not picking their call. So it was a challenging thing, especially the logistic part of e-commerce. E-commerce, if you have a lot of money to invest in it, the logistics, if you can do that, that is a part that's not even been scratched. We've not fixed it. And you wonder why Amazon has not come to Nigeria. They actually looked in to come to Nigeria, but logistics is tough. In case you don't know, Jumia is struggling. Konga is struggling. They are not profit-making ventures per se, because Nigerians have not understood e-commerce. From abroad, on my phone, I order, I pay. But here, people don't pay. Majority, only about 30% of it is pay before delivery. Majority is pay on delivery because there's no trust. So it was a struggle for me. The e-commerce was a struggle. I did it for 2 years. Another thing I didn't do well, the fifth business I didn't do well was government contract. Yes, I did government contract in Nigeria. You need to have guts. Forget all these people say. Because I found that there's a lot of corruption in the system. Okay? You do a project there was one we did about 80 million. Apparently, the original cost of that business was 30-something million. So at each stage that the business gets is padded up. And when you're trying to pull out your check from the accountant to the cleaner, everybody wants the chip. And it's institutionalized. That's how it works. You're not going to be present out. So I did two. One with the federal government, the second with one of the military parastatals. It was a disaster. I didn't like it. And it wasn't the kind of business I like going into. I like a business that I have a product. If you want to buy, you buy. If you don't want to buy, you go. Not what I'll lobby. I found I needed to rank a lot of people, greet people I don't want to greet. What they call kiss ass, and still at the end you cheap the money with them. No. If I bring in my market, if you like it, if it's going to help you cure a sickness and you want to buy, you buy. That's cool. But whereby I have to be greeting you every morning, you're bereaved, you're burying someone, I have to show up. Like they do in Abuja. That's not my style. That's how when you see any contractor who's running 2 billion in Nigeria, I don't do that. No. If I want to support that, so too much patronage, and they cut the check as you're going on this stage, and that's massive corruption. So after the second one, I said I'm done, and I left. So on the bonus, there's a bonus. The sixth business I did that didn't do well was a high-end barbing salon. So I and my friend, I was the main partner. We set up a barbing salon in Lekki, and then we were charging about, I think, 5K. When others were charging 1,000. Beautiful place, well done. We invested close to 40 million. If you look at the rent of the building, equipment that we brought in and everything. Beautiful place, right? But the barbers were not honest. Especially if you're not in town. Don't do barbing salon. Don't do hair salon. I'm just telling you. The barbers, the customers know. In fact, I brought in a lot of my high-end friends. They like coming to the place. But guess what happened? They started offering my barbers home service. So they were going to their house to do it. The barber was going for it. And another thing was barbing salon. If the barber leaves, he takes his customers. Let's say he moves 2 streets away. those your friends will not even come to your barbering salon anymore. So those were some of the challenges. But my friend got it right. And what he did, when I left, I told him I don't want to buy, so he bought out my interest. What he did, he now leased out the chairs to those people. He doesn't pay them salary anymore. So he gives you a chair maybe for 200,000 a month, and whatever you make is yours. So if he has 4 chairs, that's 800k or whatever, you know. So he just has a girl that monitors and makes sure there's sanity and the quality of control and SOP is adhered to in the place. That's just all he does. He comes around, maintains it, provides them gen, and tell them this is what he rents each table. So every 6 months he looks at the business traction and increases. And he said he has more peace of mind. If you don't come to work, if you come, that's your own. So apparently he has about 5 or 6 chairs, and he has about 10 barbers. So it's up to you, the chair. If whoever you pay, the chair is yours. So that's what it is. So those are the 5-6 businesses I didn't do well. There were more, but I'm just sharing few. Why am I sharing it? The business that you didn't do well, there are people that are doing well in it. I have 4 core businesses that are surviving me, that are making me do well. And from those 4 core businesses, there are people that have tried it that failed. Just because someone has failed in a business doesn't mean you shouldn't try it. Okay? And just because someone is excelling in a business doesn't mean you should rush into it. But the difference is that if you're going to go into it, if you cannot get a mentor to teach you, because I found that there's a good point when you get a mentor, make sure you understand that business very well. Some of these businesses that I failed, I found I was not mentored. I didn't do a good research. I just felt there was a going concern. There's a business that is doing very well, and I went into them without doing research. There are loopholes in every business, and every business has a secret. So that's it. My name is Sam. Have a beautiful day. If you think you've done any business that didn't work, share with us. Or you think some mistakes that you think I did that I should have done better, let us know. Have a beautiful day. Thank you.